Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of What's Poppin' Podcast. It's nice to see everyone. And also thank you for those of you that are listening on the Spotify's. This is episode number 22. We've gone this far, buddy. 22 episodes deep. Yeah, super excited, guys. We actually got not like a ton of news, but we got a couple topics that we definitely wanted to talk about. But first and foremost, I definitely want to ask, how was your weekend? How was your week? Did you watch anything? Did you do anything?
To be honest, it's still in a bit of a recovery mode for me. For those of you who do not know, I had a herniated disc in my lower back, where instead of going backward, it actually went inward towards my actual nerve.
Dude, just hearing that shit is making me touch my back right now. It feels like it hurt.
It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun.
You're right.
But yeah, no, I'm actually not on any medication right now. I'm feeling good. So 5 weeks in, hoorah! That was a pretty quick recovery. So I'm actually really grateful for that. But as far as what I've been watching, man, I've just been a typical nerd, man. I've been rewatching Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, just the nerdiest stuff ever. I'm just enjoying being a nerd.
You haven't really touched on anything new as of recently, it seems like.
Not really, not anything this last week. So nope, just living up the nerd life. What about you, man?
Yeah, I've actually watched a couple new things, man. But so far the week has been pretty good. I can't complain. It seems like I'm finally starting to settle in my movie situation. Everything seems to be a lot smoother. I'm starting to get back into routine, and yeah, everything seems good. And then I actually had some time to watch a couple things this week that I was excited to talk about on here, just in case, maybe potentially save some people some money. So that way they don't have to rent anything themselves. But I ended up first of all, I'll talk about some of the trailers I just watched this week, man. I didn't get around to actually doing a reaction to this because it's been a bit of a busy week, and luckily it wasn't something too huge because we've been getting trailers for season 2 of The Boys, which I'm not sure if you're aware. Have you seen the first season? By chance?
I started watching some episodes of it, and I've seen some reactions of it on YouTube. It gets pretty crazy. It's very funny, but also not shy about showing things, and it's really fun.
Right. Yeah. So season 2 is going to be released in September 4th, I believe. And I think they're going to release 2 or 3 episodes, and then after that, they're going to start releasing them weekly.
That's smart.
Yeah, which I think is totally fine. I'm down with that, and it gives us time to actually talk about it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely want to review season 2. So Tim, get on finishing season 1.
Okay.
Yeah. But they released another new trailer, and also they just announced today, I believe. Yeah, today, roughly around 10 hours ago, that the X-Men star Shawn Ashmore joins The Boys season 2.
Remind me. Sean,
he's the one that played Iceman.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
So I think he's a great addition, and very interesting because the picture that we ended up getting is him holding a lighter, which is I don't know if he's gonna have some fire abilities
right? Or
this time around.
Or he could have a crippling addiction to nicotine. We don't know.
True. But it's exciting stuff, man, that we get someone from the X-Men series to join the show here, and I think that's a great add-on, man. And I did get around to actually watching the trailer to season 2, the final trailer, I believe it was.
Okay.
And it was actually it's looking good, man. I can't freaking wait. I try my best not to watch TV show trailers because they release so many of those.
They end up revealing so much.
Yeah, they're revealing so much of it. So this was the last one, and luckily, if there is any other little teaser snippets, I'm just not gonna watch, just because I would rather just wait.
Usually, you can dodge what do they call the TV spots, which are these little 30-second.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even watch those. I try my best. Yeah, and I know sometimes people want us to talk about that kind of stuff, but I'm just I would rather just wait for the full thing and then review it, because
you never know when you're going to click on one of those, and that 30 seconds you can never get back, where they're like, hey, here's the bad guy, here's the plot, and you're like, damn it.
I mean, we don't want a freaking what is it, Stranger Things situation.
Exactly.
That was the worst little trailer I've ever seen, man, and it just killed the review. Yeah, it just killed. Damn it. So I also ended up watching a trailer for which is probably the first little bit of news here. So I'll get this one out the way real quick.
Okay.
Saved by the Bell is back to the max in the new official teaser.
Ooh.
It was about 1 minute and 8 seconds long, and it featured
That's a decent
two.
chunk.
Yeah, and it changed the tone of the series too. I mean, maybe just for me, I don't know. I love the original Saved by the Bell. I don't know. I don't think you've ever watched the show, right? I'm assuming.
No, I think I've seen it. It's very familiar. I just remember being really young when it was on.
Right.
So I don't
Oh,
remember like, details.
it's just
but...
like reruns of like random episodes and stuff, right? Okay, yeah. So they showed a teaser, and I was very curious to know because this is going to be streamed on Peacock, and this is probably Peacock's one of their more popular shows that's going to be on there for now that I am aware of. There's probably more, but as of right now, this is probably one of the bigger hits that people are somewhat excited for that are fans. But in the trailer, they it seemed like they were more lighthearted and just funny and just more on the it had like a High School Musical vibe to it. It was like they there were some serious episodes that they made fun of in this trailer from the original series. One being there was an episode where one of the high school girls was addicted to caffeine pills. And it was like this big thing on I didn't remember watching this episode live because I was way too young, but I remember watching the rerun to it, and it was kind of emotional because one of the friends was trying to convince her that you don't need these drugs,
right?
Because and she ended up crying. It ended up being an emotional episode. But in this teaser, for some reason, they make a joke out of it. Like it's just
that's a bit of a red flag for me anytime a show does that, because either it could be totally harmless and it's just whoever edited that teaser trailer just thought it was good or whatever, but typically it's similar to like the original X-Men movies, right? When those came out, they refused to wear anything that resembled what the comic book characters wore in the comics because it's like, that's cringy, that's too that. We're embarrassed to that. This could be, I'm not saying it is, but it sounds almost like it's a bit of a, we're moving on from that. We don't really want to focus on that kind of stuff. We're going to joke.
They're making it too serious. It doesn't even seem that serious of a TV show. It just seems like very lighthearted, goofy. It almost seems like it could easily be on Disney Plus. I know Disney doesn't have the rights to this, but I'm just trying to tell you guys an idea of what the show, the vibe it's coming off of, and you can actually check out the trailer too yourself.
Yeah, when you said High School Musical feel, that kind of told everything about it.
I'm not saying that it's a musical, but I'm just telling you that it's kind of like that glow of it. You guys will know what I'm talking about once you watch the first 20 seconds of the trailer. But we did get 2 reoccurring roles, technically 3. Which first one was Max. He's the owner of the diner, which is the classic diner that most of the kids go to all the time, and they kind of hang out there and stuff. And then we also got a cameo from Mario Lopez, AC Slater, and also Jesse. Those 2 characters seem to have very prominent roles where they're going to be reoccurring on the show. I didn't see one of the more popular characters, which was Zack Morris. He wasn't in the trailer at all, but there was a kid that looked very similar to him that could potentially be either his nephew or his son. So it's got me interested. Even though I have said that the teaser kind of rubbed me a little weird because they were, kind of making fun of that, like to me, emotional episode, and also, the feel of it. I still want to see it as a fan. I'm still gonna go see it, and I would like to review maybe the first or 1 or 2 episodes for you guys. So I think that'd be fun. But yeah, I think you guys should check out the teaser. Saved by the Bell is back to the max. It's gonna be on Peacock, and it should be out sometime this year. There's no official release date yet, but at least you got a teaser. So
small question. This is confirmed to be a continuation, right?
This is a continuation.
You were hoping that there was like all these characters being like returning as those characters, but later, or are they like It's them playing the same character back again. So I think it's really cool.
super cool. So
Check it
I
out.
hope it's good. I'm praying it's good. Aside, like I said, sometimes trailers doesn't really capture the actual feel of the show.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it could all go like weird in the editing. Someone might think, oh, this piece of music will go perfect, but it ends up kind of killing the tone of the show
Yeah.
a little bit until you watch the full thing. So I'm gonna keep my my comments to myself until then, and not assume. So let's hope that it is still good for us Saved by the Bell fans. So yeah, after watching that trailer, I also ended up watching the Tax Collector. It's a Shia LaBeouf movie directed by David Ayer.
Right.
Yeah, so that's one of the more movies that recently just came out on VOD.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was on Friday, if I'm correct. Yeah, I believe it was the 8th. So that was Saturday. Saturday or Friday.
For you to rent that movie, how much?
I would say probably $20.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say $20 on Amazon. And yeah, so I I watched it because I was one of those people that was kind of excited for it, to tell you the truth, just because I'm into like a lot of different types of movies, right? Different types of genres, and this one kind of reminded me a little bit of Training Day with Denzel Washington a bit,
Okay.
where Shia is playing a Latino character who's like a gangster and stuff, and they go him and his buddy or his coworker, I guess, whatever you want to call it, his gangster coworker.
Sure.
They end up going and collecting tax money from all the different gangs in LA.
Sounds like
to pay,
pretty
much, yeah,
safe career option.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so that is the basic premise of the film, and then things happen. But I wanted to talk about this film just briefly, just to mention that I would highly recommend that you save your money and just wait till it's free. Because it just seemed, it's so weird that David Ayer made this. It doesn't seem like this is something that he would make after watching it, because the budget that I got from it feels straight like a novella movie. Like a Spanish novella featuring Shia LaBeouf. It almost seems like he was doing it as a favor or something. I don't know. It doesn't seem right. Everybody's acting was so bad, and also the dialogue conversations. The only one that had like really good line delivery was obviously Shia LaBeouf.
So pretty piss poor writing then.
Yeah, and it's what's crazy too. Like, to be honest here, coming from someone that is full-blooded Mexican Latino. Shia LaBeouf looked more Latino than most of the people in the cast, dude, which is fucking nuts to me, because he's not even Latino. It's like, what the hell? And yeah, it was very convincing for him to play a role like that. I thought he did pretty good. His performance was fine. I had no issue with them, and I'm not trying to be a fanboy or anything, but I'm just speaking the truth here. But everybody else, for some reason, it just felt like B movie acting.
Like first take, we're going on with that.
Yeah, like, okay, that's good. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it felt I think halfway through the movie, I was like, do I really want to continue watching this shit? And
no.
Yeah, it was one of those. So I'm like,
that's
I already paid money for it. I might as well finish it, right? Like,
yeah.
So I did. And it was all bad. It was terrible, man. It's currently getting 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. Street Rant gave it a 1.5 out of 5. Yeah, it seems like the media is giving it a 2 out of 5.
So what would you give it out of our 5?
I think a 1 out of 5, dude. And that 1 is only Shia LaBeouf. Dude, Shia LaBeouf is the one, dude. Like, he's the one that gave it like the even a point, in my opinion. Like, it just wasn't good. I was hoping at least it would be somewhat entertaining or whatever, but I think the first maybe 10 minutes I was like, okay, this looks like it's heading in a good direction, but it quickly just like
derailed.
I don't know. Yeah, it just derails, man. Like I said, I think it's the line delivery between each characters. It just seems like sometimes one character might be overacting and the other one's like very calm, and it's just like it's not even that serious of a of a scene for them to be acting that way. I'm just like, wait, what the hell? Did I miss something? Or why is he acting like more like, he's overacting here? And it's just I couldn't help but nitpick their acting because I've never seen that before. Or maybe I have, but not like to that extent, I guess.
You know what it kind of reminds me of is I wouldn't say maybe college level, but at least like high school level plays. Sometimes some theater kids are like super into it and are going at like 110, 120%. Then there's the other kids who got put in theater who were just there because they had nothing better to do, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Wherefore art thou, Romeo?" Like it's very like
Right.
completely mixture.
Yes.
of
Yes.
tone.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
rough,
And
man.
it's crazy because yeah, like I said, I think Shia LaBeouf is probably the one that was holding that film up, and he wasn't even a lead role. He was technically the co-star of the film.
Wow.
So for him to be a co-star and still feel like he was the main reason why this movie is probably even worth finishing, it's sad. It makes me sad.
Sorry about that, guys. Had a complete malfunction of equipment. Our camera died and everything. But we're back, and I
Yep.
think we're ready to get back into the news. Are we?
Yeah, we're ready to get back into it. So yeah, that was pretty much it that I have to speak on as far as tax collector goes, just in case if you guys are considering about that. But I definitely want to dive into some of the news topics for today. So we're gonna go ahead and kick it off with Tim first. He's got a couple, and then I'll run through mine after.
Sounds good. All right. Well,
All right.
first up comes from Discussing Film on Twitter.
Mhm.
They say that Bryan Cranston would love to reprise his role as Walter White for Better Call Saul. And he says, quote, "There's one more season to go, and we'll see what happens." Now, I just recently, as you know, finished watching Breaking Bad for the very first time.
Yeah.
And that was great. I really enjoyed it. Season 5 for me was kind of like a step down a bit, but I
Yeah.
really loved it, even with season 5 and everything beyond that.
Yeah. Right.
And you've told me to check out Better Call Saul, I believe.
I would say watch El Camino first, which I think you did, right? You watched El
I've
Camino,
already watched that.
and then and you're okay to watch Better Call Saul,
Okay.
because that one takes place. Well, it immediately starts off taking place right after Breaking Bad.
Wow.
Maybe even a couple months or a year after.
So I thought it was a prequel.
Okay, so no, but let me. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
It starts off that way, and it goes into the episode of, I guess, it kind of just shows Saul living his new life and just pretty much how he lives now, and he's
Right.
kind of reminiscing and thinking about how he started. So that's how it goes into the prequel situation. And so whenever a new episode usually starts, it starts him in present time, but then it goes into his past.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I'll have to check that out
Yeah.
then, because I was like, why would I want to watch a show that's like just setting up what came before? But if it has stuff that happens after, too,
Yeah. I think it's honestly, it's a different tone of show,
Okay.
but it still has that Breaking Bad little feel to it and stuff. I think it's worth watching. I haven't actually finished the most recent season, so I'm a season behind right now.
Okay.
But I definitely need to get around to watching it, so maybe we can review it together at some point.
That'd be fun. I think
but yeah,
it's cool that Bryan Cranston's like,
yeah, of
I kinda
course.
want to play Walter White again, because
Mhm.
it was a really good role for him. I don't blame him one bit.
Yeah, dude, I can't even think anyone else to play that role, to be honest with you. He played it so good, and it seemed like it was perfectly written for him.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, he's got that really, really uncanny ability to almost on a whim switch between that dad of that friend who's always got his shirt tucked in and is like, "You want some more pancakes?"
Yeah.
To being the most terrifying killer. ever.
Right, dude. Just being
just
super
on a whim.
menacing, man. It's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And his character development through Breaking Bad is just
Incredible.
amazing.
It's incredible.
It's great, man. So I think this is great. I mean, it makes sense too, since like I said, it is a prequel and stuff,
Mhm.
and it would make sense for them to end it leading up to the point where he meets Walter White for the first time or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then leave it at that because we already know what happens
picks
after
up from
that.
there.
So yeah,
Yeah, the only way
I'm
they can
just
continue to do flashbacks is like what happens when he's not on screen in Breaking Bad. Like what
mhm,
else is he doing? But I don't know if we'd really want to see that because that kind of just clutters.
mhm.
But no,
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. And the same thing with like El Camino. He spoiler alert, he does make a cameo
Mhm.
in that, and that dialogue exchange between him and Jesse, which is like in the form of a flashback, is actually fucking amazing. Like that's probably one of the best parts of the movie.
True. Yeah.
Because you get to see them on screen together. You know, and this is the thing is that we had to wait a few years for us to see that again. So for you it was kind of like, oh well, I just saw the whole season so it's okay, but like for
This is
me that time gap was just like, oh my god, we get to see them again have a dialogue
You know what
because the
this is
dialogue
like?
between each other is the best,
This is the
especially
exact
when they're
opposite.
getting along.
Yeah,
When they're getting along it's the best.
exactly.
When they're not it's just like, oh come on. Like it's always like two best friends, you're just like, come on man, just chill you guys.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
This is actually like the exact opposite of how it was with Clone Wars and us. Where
Uh-huh.
I had taken each season as it came out and I waited
Yeah.
stupid long to see the end of it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna binge it all in a couple days. It's the exact opposite.
So I was like spoiled as hell compared to you. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. It's the same scenario.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is other than that, man. I think it's great news, and I hope some way or somehow the writers can include them in a scene, and it'd be funny.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it'd be really cool.
Well,
So
what's Vincent, right? That's the name of the main writer of
mhm.
Breaking Bad. He's an excellent writer. So if
Vince
he's still,
Gilligan, yeah.
and does he still work on Better Call Saul? Because if he does,
Sure, he's probably either like executive producer or I'm not too sure. I would have to like look that up,
Yeah.
but I
Well,
know
then-
he's somewhat involved in there for sure.
yeah, then I have the absolute faith that if they're gonna go for that, they'll do it well. Because
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
solid writing.
And it's he wouldn't be the first reoccurring character to come out from the Breaking Bad series in Better Call Saul. There is a couple other cameos from other characters that are in there, and not just cameos. Sometimes they're in there for full blown like 3-4 episodes in the season. And they fit perfectly fine within that world and the context of what's going on. That's going to lead up to Breaking Bad, which makes sense. This is a prequel. So yeah, like I said, I'm sure they can fit them in there. They can write them in very easy, man. Come on, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
The next piece of news, I'm going to go ahead and move on here to something that's kind of juicy and interesting. Zack Snyder, as you know, the guy behind the upcoming Snyder Cut of Justice League, which also I think got rebranded. I saw that on Twitter. It's Zack Snyder's Justice League now is the official name, I believe.
Yeah, as of right now, yes.
Yeah.
Unless they change it again, because it seems like they could easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he shared an image of Steppenwolf from Justice League that is not like the Steppenwolf we got in the original cut that we got way back in, what year was that? 2017, it felt, or something like that.
Yeah.
And he kind of tweeted it out. I'll just read the article here. This weekend, Zack Snyder teased fans with another image from his cut of Justice League, this time revealing an image of Steppenwolf in all his glory. Unfortunately, the image is fairly low quality, so it's hard to make out too many details. Even so, it's pretty awesome, especially compared to the character we saw in the theatrical cut of the film. He then accompanied that with his tweet saying, "Just working today, pulled this out of the editorial. Sorry he's low resolution, but I've seen him in all his high-res glory, and he's a thing to behold. Quick question, how many Fs do you think he gives?" Which I think that right there kind of shows that he's not going to be what the Steppenwolf in the theatrical cut was.
Yeah, because I mean for my knowledge, and I think I've seen him tweet about it when people were asking him questions about the Snyder Cut, if he's even seen the theatrical version of Justice League, and I don't even think he's seen it in its entirety, or he hasn't even seen it at all.
Yeah,
he just kind of just went off of what other people were saying about it, and that's it.
See, what was weird to me, because again, I'm a big DC fan, but I'm not so in depth with the comics that I know every character's ever rendition. But one time I know of Steppenwolf was in the DC animated universe. There was a Superman animated series, and he was such a minor character. He showed up for a moment and died. I didn't know anything about him. and I wasn't impressed with the way he was in the Justice League.
The animated, yeah.
So both times it's been kind of not impressive.
It didn't seem like he was very threatening at all, and
Yeah.
I think everybody knew that Superman could take him easy, and that's the issue too.
Yeah.
Is writing some of these villains for Superman, man, because like we know that Superman is a fucking god, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like he's a beast. So you have to, you know, make these villains that they're going up against like actual like threatening to them.
Exactly.
And he just once Superman actually comes in on
he's
screen
batting around
against
like a
him,
ping pong
and he
ball.
just fucking wrecks him. Like it's just
it's just kind of
no
like,
competition. It was literally no competition, man.
yeah, at that point in the movie, you can literally just kind of check out. You're like, oh, because Superman can hit him around like it's that ping pong game of or what's that called where they have like the little flippers on the computer, or something like that. He's just bopping him around like nothing. So it's just
dude, he's
sign
just
out.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm even amazed that this is getting made. Like or HBO was even giving them, the studios are even giving him a chance to even put his own version out there. Which by the way, I kind of felt like I feel very, very bad that I'm happy that they're giving him this, you know, thing to do, because he did kind of get, you know, it was unfortunate that at that time his daughter had passed away. So he had to step away from the project, and somebody else, you know, came in and did their version of it, and also did some shitty reshoots, which we can all know, like we know how that turned out.
The lip.
So I'm just happy that he's actually getting his version out there. And it's not just like a myth where people were thinking, oh, there's no Snyder cut, whatever. No, it probably was a myth at one point when people were tweeting out saying that they've seen it. Like Jason Momoa is like, oh, I've seen the Snyder cut, but it wasn't even finished, dude. This dude is literally in the editing room right now and just fucking grinding his ass off to make sure that his version gets out there. And I'm happy that it's being made, dude. Like, I'm very surprised that they're giving him this option, because that kind of opens the door for a lot of other directors that didn't get to finish projects for whatever reason to be able to put them out on a streaming service, you know, exclusively to a streaming service too.
It's a big turning of the leaf here, because I mean, this is pretty, I wouldn't say entirely unprecedented, but it's pretty unprecedented without really holding back anything. I mean, like, to have a studio so many years after a movie came out be like, hey, why don't you kind of just remake it and make it better, or tweak it, or make your version of it? It's like a bigger, better version of a director's cut. It's this director, the original director's cut. The you know, substitute director in his cut. So I think I think honestly it's going to be very interesting. Whether it's good or bad, I don't really care. I don't have expectations. I just want to see.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't have any expectations either. I'm not expecting for this thing to be amazing or bad or anything. I'm just kind of just like, cool, like I'm ready to see it, you know, see like what things are different. That's it. That's kind of the mentality to have right now. I'm just kind of staying optimistic, and I hope it comes out just as the way he intended it to, wanted to originally come out when he was making this film. I'm curious to know what they're going to add in there. So it's cool. But aside from all that, the picture, which is the main focus of this topic here, the picture looks really cool, man. It is low resolution. It looks like it's like straight out of 240p quality. But I mean, I can kind of get a general idea of what he might look like. And he definitely looks more menacing here than he does in the other one.
He definitely has a different face. That's the first thing I noticed. Is like the face is completely gone, because even when you were watching the movie and it's like supposed to be a finished product, that always the entire time I'm like, that's not the best CGI for that villain face. Like, it's there. I get what you're doing, but it's not good. So I'm hoping that when he says like, I've seen the high res and it's excellent.
And I'm also curious to know if they're going to change the voice actor for Steppenwolf. That's kind of a big question mark for a lot of people. They're wondering If
he's doing
and I
entirely different stuff, they would have to either bring in the old voice actor to do re-recordings
mhm.
or just do a new voice actor, because if they're not going to
I didn't
reuse.
mind the voice actor previously
Mhm.
that much. But if they want to get someone new, cool. But as far as the look goes, I think it's a great move. He's heading in a great direction.
Yep.
And like I said, I'm pretty sure this Steppenwolf version of this was his intended idea from the beginning,
Not the
and
main
not
guy.
what we got. Yeah, not what we got for the final product.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
No, I think it's very interesting. I love it when a director kind of comes out and is like, "Here's a little taste. Here's a little
Right,
sugar.
right.
Here's the
He's
thing."
been teasing us hella hard, man. But he knows how to run his social media, dude.
True.
Like he's staying very active. He's communicating with his fans,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just throwing little snippets out there. And dude, he's doing a good thing, man.
He's
And
doing work.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
doing work. Something else that's interesting that may or may not work is, and this one kind of it came out of nowhere. It just absolutely baffles me. Is Walmart? Yeah, you heard me right. Walmart drive-in. Just that sentence alone, or that phrase, kind of baffles me. But Walmart drive-in is going to be featuring E.T., Iron Giant, and other classics. The fact that Walmart is going to be doing a drive-in at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's like out of nowhere. It's a grocery store. It's like having Target do a drive-in theater situation.
Yeah, and apparently it's like 160 stores or something like that.
160 Walmart stores across the country beginning this month.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even just like, hey, Walmart's thinking about doing this for next year or next summer. No, it's this month. August. They're going to be doing this. It's like, you're just going to kind of roll up and be like, hi, we're here, and then plop. Like, that's crazy to me. It's just like, I didn't have any semblance that this was in the works. It's so weird to me, but I kind of think it might work because they got big parking lots.
Yeah. I know two one of the Walmarts right by me probably won't happen there because that one's kind of a smaller one. But I don't think that has a list of Walmarts. Maybe it does,
Let me see. There's actually a lot over here. I'm going to go ahead and read the article to you guys, if that's all right.
Yeah, definitely.
There's quite a bit to download here. So it says, Walmart is lifting the curtain on plans for a Walmart drive-in movie theater experience, which is rolling to 160 Walmart stores across the country beginning this month, created in partnership with the Tribeca Film Festival, which that I did not know. I don't even know what that is. Do you? The Tribeca Film Festival?
Yeah. They show a lot of like movie trailers and also like indie films.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then it says available for free to Walmart customers. The Walmart drive-in will transform Walmart parking lots
it's free
into outdoor cinemas from August 14th through October 21st with 320 showings of hit movies. Starting today at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, families can visit www.thewalmartdrivein.com. I guess we'll leave a link for that in the description below on YouTube if you want to check that out, to discover dates, store locations, and the movies for each stop of the movie tour. So if you're wondering if your Walmart near you, if you have one near you, you can go to that website, and I guess it shows which stores will be participating in this, which is interesting.
cool.
And then they have a quote. We recognize the challenges of our customers and their families have faced over the last few months, and we wanted to create an experience where they could come together safely to create new memories. That's Janie Whiteside, Walmart's chief customer officer, and she continues by saying the Walmart drive-in is one small way we're supporting the communities we serve. And they say
that is so cool,
promising families a fun, contact-free experience where they can watch popular films through thoughtfully curated by the Tribeca Film Festival. Audiences will be welcomed back to the big screen to enjoy a wide variety of films safely from their own vehicle, which includes, and this keeps going, man. Includes Friday Night Lights, The Karate Kid, Space Jam, Black Panther,
Nice.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Lego Batman, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Spy Kids, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Wonder Woman, E.T., Ghostbusters, Men in Black, International, Back to the Future, Beetlejuice, The Goonies, Wizard of Oz,
Ooh. Okay.
Dolphin Tales, Selena, Cars, The Iron Giant, Lego Movie, Madagascar, and it just keeps going, man. Like
That's awesome, dude. And the fact that it's free, like, whoa.
yeah, that blows my mind too.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're pulling that off, because I know that usually in order to do like a public showing of a movie, you would have to have some sort of revenue go back to that studio that owns the rights.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're just, paying for that up front without having to let the customers pay for it in order to.
See, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna make their profit off of like snacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If they have that option, where they're gonna have like,
They're going to be like, go inside, buy it.
yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be, it's very interesting to find out. And I kind of want to see if there's any Walmarts near me, and maybe I can actually try it out.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
because
and
I can kind of come back to this and let you guys know what the process is like with these drive-ins. I haven't, to be honest with you, I've never been to a drive-in before. I never needed to.
I figured it out. So,
but I do have siblings that have done it, and they said that nowadays, like in the drive-ins, they don't have the little speaker thing. It's all through like the radio. They just tell you what station to tune into, and then that's where you get your sound, is through your car.
Yep, that's how my local theater has done it for years now, is just through their little radio tower that they have. It works great. The problem I have with drive-thrus typically is that there's always an idiot in the back who leaves their headlights on. And I have to, almost every single time, I have to get out of my car and kind of go like, hey, do you mind turning that off? And they're like, oh, sorry. And they'll turn it off. And I'm just like,
okay. Just like,
exactly.
Lights, buddy. The lights.
But at the very bottom, I didn't see this until I scrolled. They actually note a couple things. First, for complete movie-going experience, families can stock up on their favorite theater concessions to bring along with them through Walmart's convenient pickup or delivery services. And to reserve a space, so you have to reserve it. To reserve a space for the Walmart drive-in, customers have to go to that website, which is in the link description again, starting today at 5 p.m., to pick their desired date and location. Once confirmed, customers will receive an email with a QR code, which will grant their vehicle entry on the day of that event. So it's not just anyone can show up. So
okay, so you still have to kind of make a reservation, so to speak. But it is free, but you just have to make your reservation. That probably would make sense, just in case if, imagine have 200 cars show up and they're like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? They wouldn't know what to do, So that's whew, that was good. That's good to know.
That's a good touch.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is that one of my moderators, Iggy Coop on Twitch, he is actually an employee at a Walmart, and he told me that that they've had this meeting and conversation months ago about this happening. I'm like, oh, so this is confirmed. He's like, yes. I was like, I've never had insider source before.
That's kind of cool.
He told me, that they've been talking about this for months already. So it's interesting that it's finally getting out there, because he's new about
getting in on the movie game. Now you got to be like, hey, man, I'll slide you some dollars. Give me some inside information.
Right.
Or something like that.
Right. No, that's awesome though. So that's good news, man. I'm up for it. And I wouldn't mind, like I said, I'm probably going to look up to see if there's a local Walmart of mine. Probably catch either the Karate Kid or Back to the Future, because can't go wrong with those.
Yeah, and you can't argue with free either. I
no, free? The snacks in the car too, man. That sounds like a good night.
It definitely does. So the final bit of news I have, and then I'm going to toss it over to you.
Yeah.
Is that, pardon me, Discussing Film tweeted out, filming crews for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and Hawkeye, which for some reason I thought that show was kind of canceled. I don't know, but I guess it's back. Has returned to Atlanta to begin prep to potentially restart filming in the very near future, which is good news, because we were promised those shows, obviously, before this whole thing kind of went off the rails.
Yeah.
a while back now. I remember
We were promised by a lot of films and TV shows this year, and it's been very rough, man.
I think the last time we saw a decent clip from those projects was
Super
from
Bowl.
last Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Which, that's been a bit. Or at least it feels that way, because how 2020's
It's
been going.
been a while, man. It's been a while.
So,
yeah.
This is cool. I'm hoping that they can get it done in time in case for some reason there's a second wave, but I just want them to get it done so that we can get the editing done in safe spaces so that we can
Right,
get
of
the
course. Everyone in different cubicles, whatever they got to do.
Get your yardsticks.
Right. No, yeah, this is good news, man. And it's cool that a lot of these studios are, practicing safe, ways of being able to go back on set to go ahead and, start finishing these projects that they have lingering. So I'm excited, man. And like I said, it's funny because when me and Tim first started the podcast, we're thinking, dude, we picked the wrong year to fucking start one because all this happened and it's been a rough year for movies, we've just been getting the bare minimum for films as far as, we were promised, the Quiet Place 2, a whole bunch of just a plethora of different films that were supposed to originally release.
Black Widow.
Yeah, it's just it could have been so many great reviews and stuff. So, but I mean, that's no one's fault. It really is no one's fault. But so hopefully, things start to pick back up normal, and people are still playing, are being safe, and that's good to hear that. We get some updated news on some of these projects that are actually finally going back
they're trying to get that engine.
They're trying to get it going,
And,
yeah.
I tell you what, all my mentality can be summed up about this year of just listening to Frank Sinatra sing about "That's Life." Just listen to that song. And you're gonna be right. I'll go with the flow. It'll be what it'll be.
You gotta just go with the punches, man. Go with the punches.
Yep. So that's all the news I had there, Jimmy. If you want to go ahead and take us on an adventure, I'm ready, man.
Yeah. So, a quick update for you guys on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot by Seth Rogen.
Okay.
He says, as a lifelong fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, weirdly, the teenage part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was always a part that stuck out to me the most. Rogen said, and as someone who loves teenage movies and who's made a lot of teenage movies, and who literally got their start in their entire professional by writing a teenage movie, the idea of a kind of honing in on the element was really exciting to us. I mean, not disregarding the rest, but really using that as a kind of jumping point of the film. So they want to make sure that the emphasis on the teenage part, that, they are teenagers, so they're probably, growing up and learning to deal with their emotions and all that stuff. And I think it's interesting. It's very interesting.
It sounds like he's setting the stage saying, hey, if you're wanting like a serious, gritty ninja movie that happened to be turtles, you may not get exactly that. It's going to be
I don't expect them to ever. I honestly don't expect to get a dark version of the Ninja Turtles. As bad as I want one, as bad as a lot of the TMNT fans, like OG TMNT fans, want a dark version, basically the comic book version, which we're never gonna get because that one's way too dark.
Never say never, man. You'll be surprised.
I'm just saying, man, because the rights that are from Nickelodeon, they're not gonna allow something like that. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Unless Nickelodeon, unless Nickelodeon sells the rights to somebody else, which they probably won't because they know the value of Ninja Turtles. And for some reason, Ninja Turtles stayed to be relevant this entire time. It's very timeless, dude. Same thing with Transformers. G.I. Joe is kind of making its return again with the Snake Eyes film being, coming out soon as well. So yeah, I don't expect much in terms of this film since it is CGI. I really want a live action adaptation. But I'm still gonna watch it if and whenever it comes out for sure. And it's cool. It's cool to see that Seth Rogen is behind this. I don't know if he's gonna voice the character. I'm assuming he probably will.
Honestly, I think there's quite a few characters I wouldn't like him to voice, but I think the one that would make me kind of the most angry, and I'm not even a diehard Turtles fan, would be if he voiced Shredder and did his laugh.
Oh my god, that'd be terrible.
That would tick me off.
That
So.
would, maybe as a blooper, that'd be great. But
he's doing his evil laugh, and it's Seth Rogen's.
I wouldn't mind him voicing like Bebop or Rocksteady, because that would make sense. Yeah, like I think he would fit one of those characters pretty great to voice. But yeah, this is good. I mean, it's not bad news. I think it's totally fine if he really wants to focus more on the teenage aspect of it. Where they're very playful with each other or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's totally fine with that. I'm good on that. Is there anything else you want to add on?
Not really. I just know that I wish I could scrub the recent live action ones out of my brain.
Yeah,
that's about as much as I want to say.
I already have. But on to some more animated news. Christopher Daniel Barnes, the voice of Spider-Man from the 90s animated series.
Oh, yeah.
Would love to reprise his role in Into the Spider-Verse 2.
I approve. 1,000%.
I approve too.
Get him out there. Do it.
Excellent. Get him in there, man.
Yes.
Get him in there. That'd be fucking awesome, and that'd be that hit the nostalgia of a Spider-Man OG fan like myself. Dude, like I love the animated series for Batman, Spider-Man, and Superman were so good in the 90s.
I can hear the Spider-Man theme right now in my head. Like, yes. I don't even have to think about it.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider.
With that weird like guitar electric.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I think it'd be pretty freaking cool to have him cameo in there, or even have like a bigger role in there. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I'm very excited for Spider-Verse 2, though.
Like Nicolas Cage showed up in the first Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even recognize that was him until afterward. And he did great.
Yeah, he did.
And so I think if
he played a Spider Noir in that one.
Yeah. It was really fun. But I think if they were to drop this guy in there, the amount of people, especially if they didn't really announce it too much, if they just kind of kept it on the down low, the internet would explode, because it's like, oh my god, it's him! Like, all the people would be going like,
his voice is very recognizable too, man, as Peter Parker. So I think this would be another great addition to the Spider-Verse. So I think I hopefully they consider adding him in. So yeah, I think that'd be super cool
for sure.
We also have some John Wick news. Are you a John Wick fan, Mr. Tim?
I'm a fan of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wasn't a big fan of the second one. And then I never saw the third one.
Okay. So I've watched all three.
Okay.
First, amazing. I love it. And it's crazy how it's kind of a weird, well, not weird, but like it's obviously over-exaggerated premise. Because this man's going out on a killing spree after they killed his puppy, his dog.
Pause real quick. Have you heard the theory that this is actually just one of Neo's training exercises?
Yeah, I have heard that theory.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Your motivation is they've murdered your dog in a horrible way.
Yeah. It was a puppy, okay? It was a puppy.
It
makes sense.
Puppy, it was a gift from his
I would go out too. All right, who killed my dog?
Yeah.
But John Wick 1 was amazing. 2, they kind of dialed it back. It was okay. 3 was actually really good. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it. But we got some news that John Wick 4 and 5 are going to be shot back to back.
Oh, okay. Big plans in the works then.
Yes. So it says we're also busy preparing scripts for the next 2 installments of our John Wick action franchise, with John Wick 4 slated to hit theaters Memorial Day weekend 2022. We hope to shoot both John Wick 4 and 5 back to back when Keanu becomes available early next year.
Back to back. Whew. I mean, this is like kind of the same.
I wasn't expecting a 5th film, to be honest with you. So I really don't like it when they make early announcements like that. Like, just let us find out that there's going to be a 5th film after watching the 4th film.
Sure.
It just makes me kind of like, oh, well, shit. Well, we know that this isn't going to be the end for him in this one.
It reminds me kind of like when Vin Diesel was like, yeah, and then after this one, which was supposed to come out this year, by the way, we're going to do a 2-parter finale in number 10. And it's like,
yeah.
So we know you're most of your storyline continues after that. And then,
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I do remember when that happened too. Vin Diesel, I remember, I think it was after the fourth film, he already made announcements that it was going to go to like around 9 Fast and the Furious movies. And we're like, what the fuck? And yeah, it's just like, okay, so we know you're not gonna die because you're kind of like the face of the franchise. You know, nobody else is gonna continue that, and it's kind of annoying that they make early announcements that way. I would rather prefer them to just, it almost feels like they're gonna milk it. That's where I'm coming from with that, and I don't want them to do that because I really love the way they were heading in a direction for John Wick 3. They picked back up. Because the ending to 2 was amazing because it continues right after 2, part 3. Like
really?
Just right after. So it gets really intense, which is why I really enjoyed it. Now I don't know what they're gonna do for 4 and 5 in terms of like, time jump or whatever they're gonna do. But I kind of wish that they didn't announce that, oh, we're making 5 too. Like, okay, let's just don't say that. Just say, we're working on 4. And we'll see what the future holds for us or whatever, but
yeah, I think a good way to do it, well, sometimes and sometimes not. Marvel, remember how they did like, here's our phase 3 lineup, and they kind of announced where they were going. The clever thing they did was they hinted with the movies that were coming up very closely to like present day at that time, what those movies actually were going to involve and who is going to be in them. But mum was the word, and they even like insinuated quite heavily that some characters may not be there for the later installments, which kind of left a question mark because they never said who. They just left a question mark in your mind. I'm like, oh, okay, so even though I think they might go this way, it may not actually be that way. And so that's a good way to do it. But with like John Wick being the name of the character and the movie, it's kind of hard unless somehow he's a zombie in the 5th one.
Yeah, that's why. It's just like a huge spoiler. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I kind of wish they'd never done that, but nonetheless, I'm happy that we're getting some more John Wick because I can't complain about that.
I'll dip my toe in.
Entertaining films, entertaining films for sure. So I got some new Disney related news. Well, in my opinion, I really enjoyed the last 2 films of this. Have you ever watched Tron by chance?
Oh yeah. Well, the newer one. I never watched the oldest one.
The original one. You never watched that one? Okay.
No.
Yeah, so I thought the original was great too. The new one wasn't that bad either. I enjoyed it quite a lot. And then
is one of my favorite bands of all time.
Yeah.
Is Daft Punk. And so half the reason I love that movie is just because I'm jamming.
And which is, what's strange to me is the fact that it kind of like, I kind of thought that they were going to make, I feel like they've been in talks to make a sequel like for, I want to say a decade. Like it's been so long since they have, I remember them talking about, oh yes, they are going to make another Tron film, but it just kind of just lingered around. But finally we're getting an update on a new Tron film. Yeah. So it says a new Tron movie is in the works at Disney with Jared Leto to star and Garth Davis to set to direct. And also, Jared Leto confirms that his Tron movie will be titled Tron Ares.
Honestly, Jared Leto fits perfect in that environment.
Yes, I was going to say that, dude. He fits so perfect in the role of Tron. Even as a villain, I think he'd be perfectly fine as well. Like, it just makes sense to cast him. I think that'd be a perfect cast for him and a perfect
that's a good eagle eye from that casting director.
Yeah, I can see it already without having seen the film. Him being in that world just makes perfect freaking sense. So that'd be fun to watch, man. Honestly, whether if he's like, I mean, it says that he's set to star. So if he set to star as the main villain or set to star as the good guy?
I kind of hope he's a villain personally.
Yeah, I kind of want to see him more as a villain, but I mean, if he's a good guy, that's cool too. I'm curious to know if we're gonna get any reoccurring characters from the past film make a cameo or return, but we'll have to wait and see, and we'll keep you guys updated on that because that's all we know as far as as far as the Tron news goes. So that was pretty cool to know.
And I hope also that Daft Punk comes back, because I love me some Daft Punk.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think some Daft Punk would be perfect, dude. Like and some other, they can have other future, like,
other
like
EDM
artists. Yeah. And that's the thing, man. Like the music for that world, Daft Punk fits so perfect with it. You know what I mean? And so hopefully they can find some other cool artists to do that. Just as long as they steer away from hip hop music in Tron, because I think it'd be a little weird. I think electronica music is perfect for that world for sure. But I'm on my last piece of news here, guys.
Okay.
And this was a bit of an interesting one that Tim actually hit me with today, just a moment ago before we started recording, which I didn't even see. But apparently Shia LaBeouf is reportedly being considered for a new X-Men reboot. It says that Shia LaBeouf is reportedly Marvel's next Iceman. It is rumored. So this hasn't been confirmed, but it is a rumor.
Which we love our hot takes around here.
Yeah. So I think it's very interesting to think about that, man. Like, I've been wanting, I don't know if he's been, well, I know at one point that he was rumored to be considered to play Moonlight.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so I don't know if that, maybe Marvel decided that, like, I think we have another character in mind for you for a longer role or something. But like him coming back as an X-Men character would be awesome.
Yeah.
And seeing him like in an Avengers film, dude, like, yes,
dude,
I'd be so down.
Good.
I think it's so good. Yeah, so this is definitely one of those bit of news that you hit me with, out of the blue, which I totally did not catch this. So thank you for linking this in. It's got me more excited to see the X-Men in the Marvel universe finally, dude. Like,
I mean, they made that purchase, and I don't believe in this. You'd be ludicrous to believe they made the entire purchase of 20th Century Fox solely for the X-Men franchise. But let's be real here. For like the past 10, 12 years, superhero films, specifically Marvel Studios, have pretty much been ruling the box office. They've been absolutely one after another, just crushing it in numbers.
Yeah, man.
And Disney has noticed, obviously, they're making their pocketbook explode with cash from that. I think a big motivating factor was the fact that they had the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four, and they were like, give me that. Because what that's going to do for them is it's so much to help keep that hype train going for the MCU, which is going to be very hard.
The thing, too, with like X-Men characters, man, they can do so many little spin-off films with them, dude. Yes. Because they're all, I think, personally, there's a few of them that are very unique. And they can even bring in some older, obscure X-Men characters that didn't really get the limelight in some of the Fox films. And they can kind of like maybe make them more of a popular character, because Marvel's known for doing something like that. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't know much at all when that got brought up, saying that was going to be one of their next films. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I started reading up more on it. I'm like, this seems interesting. Okay, and now it's considered my favorite Marvel movie, and this is characters that I didn't really know about until they made them popular, man. So I think this is great, and I hope that they continue to succeed, which I don't think they're gonna have a problem doing.
No.
But as long as they keep casting some of these awesome actors, dude, to play such roles or characters for these roles that have so much like nostalgia for us, like
and quite a bit of legacy too.
Playing just an X-Men character is really cool, but as Iceman too, like, ooh, okay, like I can see that. I can really see that. I honestly just getting Shia in the Marvel universe is
makes
great.
You happy.
I think it's awesome, dude. So this is a win for us Marvel fans, that's for sure.
And again, this is just a
rumor. It's true. Hopefully the rumor is true. I'm crossing my fingers that it is true, and that we end up getting an announcement sometime later this year or maybe next year. That because I'm still curious to know how they are gonna introduce the X-Men in the MCU. I've heard of rumors of introducing one X-Men in a particular films, such as Black Panther. Apparently, there was rumors that Storm was going to be in Black Panther 2. And that's how they were going to like tease you that, hey, the X-Men are here.
Yeah.
But they had just all of them just haven't been either united or they haven't been introduced just yet. But I think that'd be a really cool idea.
For sure.
So anyways, guys, that's about it for in terms of news goes. We're officially done here. We really hope you guys enjoyed some of these topics that we picked out today. I just want to give a big thanks to everybody that's been listening over on Spotify. For those of you that have been showing a lot of support over on YouTube, we're very close to hitting that 100 subscriber goal. So if you guys can do us a huge favor, and please hit that like button, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell because it helps us out a ton.
Yes,
we're going to continue to provide as much content as we possibly can, and hopefully we can get some big movie trailers very soon, and I can get some reactions out to you guys because I've been dying to do some of those. But thank you once again, Tim, for joining us. It was always a lot of fun talking movies with you, bud. Yes, but we will catch you guys on the next episode of What's Poppin' Podcast next week, guys. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you soon. Take it easy, guys.